are listening to, you are absolutely listening to the George Espinlove Show, coming to you live from the Funny Farm. Now, with no further ado, here comes Georgie!
Thank you, Charlie. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now I really thank you. Oh my. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. That is quite a greeting for a Monday evening. Thank you so very much. You just give me goosebumps and make me feel all warm and fuzzy on the inside. To all of our friends down the street, around the corner, across this great nation, and around the world, I welcome you to the George Espinlove Show that comes to you live from the Funny Farm in a place called our world. If this is your first time here, we have two goals. Number one, we want to put a smile on your face, even if it's but for a few seconds. And the second goal is, we hope to make you as crazy as the rest of us. If we can accomplish one of those two goals, we'll be very happy. If by chance we accomplish both of them, oh my, then we have done exceedingly abundantly, far above, beyond anything that we ever expected. So, pull up a chair, sit back, prop your feet up, get real comfortable, and go along with us on a ride tonight. We want you to email us, GeorgeCE, that's GeorgeCE at Comcast.net, GeorgeCE at Comcast.net. We thank you for all of your emails. We have been getting them. We tell you every night, we are just thrilled when we get so many emails. We answer them, we send them right back, and we thank you for doing it, and we thank you in advance for you that will continue or be the first time to do it. We'll answer every single one of them. Charlie gets all excited when the emails, and I must admit I do too, and everyone, the whole gang here gets excited when we get emails from people all over the world. This modern technology just blows me away. Of course, I've said that countless times, but still, it just blows me away. We have some great guests this week. I mean, top shelf, real quality kind of folks, you know what I'm saying? That bring something to the table that will provoke us to think, cause us to get up and perhaps swing ourselves into action, which we really need to do nowadays. And I'm sure that you're going to enjoy each and every one of them. Without exception, Monday night, we have a man. I'm trying to do two things: talk, can't chew my bubble gum. That's not polite. I'll chew it when we're almost done. I want to introduce to you a financial expert, a political expert, a man that has been in the financial business for a long, long time. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome Stuart Vener. Am I saying that right, Stuart? Let me get here. Where are we at? Help us. Help us a little bit. We'll get it. We are getting it. We are getting it. We are not getting it. Hold on with me, ladies and gentlemen. I promise we will get it. Let me go back here again. Did we lose him? Stuart, did we lose you? I guess we lost him. Oh my. Let's see what happens here. Is he with us? Okay, here's what we're going to do. We dropped the call. So, ladies and gentlemen, just bear with us. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to dial this puppy. Thank goodness we have a number. Oh, boy, only in radio. Only in radio. Let's see if we got him here. Here we go.
Hello, this is Stuart.
Stuart, this is George Espinlob.
Yes, George. I was on hold. I didn't know what happened.
Yeah, we dropped you somehow. I don't know if Charlie hit the wrong button or whatever, but we got you back now. Welcome to the show, Stuart.
Thank you, George. Pleasure to be here.
Would you tell me and the audience something about your background, where you came from, how long you've been doing what you've been doing, and so on and so forth?
Sure. Well, I've been involved in finance and real estate activities probably around 40 years. Right now I'm living and based down in Tampa, Florida, but I was originally from the West Coast. And at one time I owned the second largest in dollar volume mortgage company in Los Angeles County, which is not a small county. I've been involved in various financing activities, international finance. I was helping finance casinos at one time, which was a little bit of a rough business. I think it's a little safer dealing in people's houses. And I've had a pretty varied career, mostly in finance and real estate, say, for the last 40 years.
That's a long time to be in one business.
Well, I'm kind of old, but I feel pretty good.
That's good. I know the feeling. You worked and consulted with some rather famous people, didn't you?
Well, I did. I consulted for Noah Dietrich at one time, who was Howard Hughes' partner. He wrote the book about Howard Hughes as well, the biography. And I worked with Morris Schenker, helping arrange financing. He was CEO of the Dunes Hotel in Las Vegas, and we were arranging financing to build one in Atlantic City. But unfortunately, at the end, it kind of fell apart. I had the financing all in place, but New Jersey was a little reluctant to license him. He was an attorney, he was a good casino operator, but he was also Jimmy Hoffa's lawyer. And New Jersey gave Hilton a pretty rough time getting a license.
Stuart, I wonder if you could do this for me. Excuse me.
Surely.
When you started, could you compare how it was in the 60s with how it is now? And I guess what I'm asking you is, was the economy much more stable than now?
Well, I don't see anything of a comparison today. Today, I think things are very tenuous, and the economy is on a very teetering right now, I think, on a cliff. In fact, something I was just getting into, and you're the first person I really discussed this with, George. But as the economy today, we know, is so dependent on housing, and it was the crash of housing where the junk bonds, the subprime bonds that caused this whole debacle that we've been in, which almost really caused a recession and a worldwide global impact. Now, in the zeal that the government is having to bolster housing, and one of the things they're doing is bringing interest rates to a 65-year low. I mean, money is practically free today. But what has happened now, which never used to happen, is well, the last probably 10, 15 years, 20 years maybe, loans are all bundled and sold as securities on Wall Street.
Mm-hmm.
And when the bond value, when interest rates go up, then the bond value drops. That's an absolute reverse direction.
Mm-hmm.
And when interest rates go down, then the value of the bond will go up. Now, with these historically low interest rates, at some point, I think we all have to realize that interest rates are going to go up. Now, what effect will that have on the economy and the global economy with all of these long-term bonds where now the quality of the mortgages are certainly underwritten more carefully, so we're not having junk bonds, but the bond could still lose half its value if interest rates go up to 5-6%. And I think that's a real worry in the future.
Wasn't excuse me, wasn't the banks, what's the word I want to use, kind of muscled into giving folks loans that they knew it was literally impossible to pay back?
Absolutely, that's what caused this whole crash that we're in. I mean, they were giving loans to everybody who had no possible way of ever paying back these mortgages. I had a man come to me a few years ago. He had 5 loans of about $500,000 each on a property up in the Sacramento area.
Mm-hmm.
Now, property had dumped in value, but at the time that he took them out, they gave this man $2.5 million worth of loans. He didn't speak English, which I have to assume might be a slight learning disability. He drove a pickup truck with a little trailer and a lawnmower behind it. How much grass can one cut? And how can he qualify for 5 mortgages of $500,000 each?
Oh, my.
And this is what the banks were doing.
That...
and this is just typical of what happened all over the country.
And that was just a house of cards waiting to fall.
It was a Ponzi scheme, and eventually you're going to run out of players. And that's what happened, and everything crashed. And, property can't inflate 20-30% a year. It's unrealistic. I mean, one of the good things, if anything, that's come out of this is now a young family could once again get in and buy their first house.
Stuart, I spent, I spent many years in the construction business. And when the housing boom took off, I mean, we were building houses like it was going out of style. Now,
no question.
To us old fellas that's been around, we kind of shook our heads and wondered what in the world is going on. At the same time, it was time for feast. But yet we knew we would look around at the developments, and we would look around at the folks that would move into the homes. Many of them were young people, very young people, and had a couple children, a couple SUVs, a camper, a boat, the whole schmear. And there were many times I'd stand back and I'd think, now, as far as I know, 1 and 1 is still 2.
That's right.
And none of these, I call them kids because, I'm getting up there myself. None of these kids are rocket scientists or astronauts that's been to the moon or has those very high-paying jobs. But these were big houses. And then we would talk among ourselves, and we would tell the young fellas, I don't know how long this is going to last, but you really better start saving your money. And they would look at us like we had 2 heads. But we knew that whatever was creating this huge bubble, that sooner or later, this puppy had to be deflated. And somebody was going to be in a world of strain. But yet, as we saw signs that it was beginning to happen, a lot of the younger people, couldn't quite get a hold of what was coming around the corner. And I guess I said all that to ask you, this thing that happened as it exploded, it wasn't even realistic. Didn't the government itself know, and particularly the banks, didn't they know that this was just an illusion? It wasn't for real, that this thing was going to break down, the wheels were going to come off?
Well, you would certainly think so, but I think that the whole outlook and the whole mindset of the American public, and maybe everyone in the world today, has this entitlement mentality, and they all want self-gratification. They all want everything today.
Uh-huh.
They don't want to wait for it and work for it and build for it. I know when I bought my first house, it was a small house. That's what they used to call a starter home. and then we went from there, and as things got a little better, a few years later, we sold it and bought something a little bigger. But everyone wants the big house with the swimming pool and the 3-car garage, and they all want that immediately without really working for it. And I'm talking about the average person, not the real high-earning person, but the average person just wants everything today.
You are involved in timeshares, and you help people get rid of these things. Is that correct?
I do. That's probably the most horrible thing that anyone, I feel, could ever buy. It has about an 85 or 86% dissatisfaction rate. How it's even legal, I don't know. But what it is you have a fractional interest in a condominium. So you do own a piece of real estate. It's like you own a little condo with 50 other people.
Uh-huh.
And the maintenance fees each year are far more than you would ever spend just going to a nice hotel on a vacation. And they trap you into these things. They entice you. They have the most unbelievable marketing campaigns that I've ever seen. And they're selling people these timeshares for $15,000, $20,000, and the same timeshare you can buy on eBay for $1, and nobody's buying them. We do help people get out of them.
You can buy the same timeshare on eBay for $1?
You can. In fact, if anybody goes to a resort and wants a timeshare, call me. I'll give it to you for free. I probably got the same place.
What is it about?
No value.
I've met people, and I know people that had, past tense, that had been involved in timeshares. And when they first got involved in it, I mean, it was the greatest thing since sliced bread. But then all of a sudden it didn't take long, and things just didn't go right with them. What is it that people would want to share this property with 50 other people when it's really, to me personally, it really don't belong to me? I'm just going there and spend a few weeks, and then everybody else is going to go there, but I'm going to pay for it.
That's exactly right. And their marketing campaigns are so intense. I mean, they bring you to their places are beautiful, no question, because they're selling each unit probably for over $1 million when they get done with it. But they give you free tickets to Disney if you're coming to Orlando, and they give you all kinds of perks and giveaways. But the most intense, high-pressure sales tactics I've ever seen. It makes a used car and a salesman look like a priest.
How if you buy one of these timeshares, do you have to go through closing just like you do when you purchase a home?
No, I think they close them right out of the office.
Oh,
it's
my!
simple.
So put your money on the table and we're done.
Oh yeah, and most of these timeshare companies, the biggest ones, if you look, they have F ratings with the Better Business Bureau. You can't get any worse than that. F.
So if someone's got one of these puppies, how do they get rid of them?
Well, I mean, you have the legal right to transfer ownership, because you do have what's called fee simple absolute ownership, which is like you would have in any piece of real estate. Now, you can give it to someone, but, I mean, if you're going to give it to a relative or friend, it's a gift that keeps on taking. I don't think you want to do that if you like the person. The resort does not want to take them back. In fact, I get people out of them, and I have these timeshares, and I call the resorts up and say, would you like to have, you just sold it for $18,000, would you like to have it back in inventory for $200? Oh, no, we won't take it. I said, how about $100? No. How about free? They don't want them for anything. They won't take them back. And you would think if it's worth that kind of money that they tell people it is, they'd be thrilled to take it back, because then they could go resell it, but they just don't want it back. But you can get out of them, and we have a company where we just get them out of it. We transfer it to another corporation, and then we beat up these resorts, and we force them to take it back nicely, or if not, we make them foreclose on it, and I don't care.
Is there a long legal hassle that you have to go through to get rid of one of these things?
No, it's very simple. We just treat it just like transferring any piece of real estate. We have a recorded deed, a purchase contract, real estate settlement statement. There's no question that we own it. Because when you have this unit, you do have the right to convey title. And then we just play pretty hardball with the resort. We've taken the people out of ownership and out of the loop. We charge a little bit for it. Not a lot, but a little bit, not very much.
Has anyone ever tried to clamp down on these companies that does this thing? I mean, it just don't sound right.
Well, there are tons of lawsuits everywhere in the country against these timeshare companies. They have a strong lobby in Washington, and it's a thriving business. It's a big business. Mm. But it has a very, very high dissatisfaction rate because, many years ago, I'll give you a little story if you have a few minutes.
Sure.
I had a close friend who owned a little jewelry store in Beverly Hills, California, and it was a small store. And he was from Czechoslovakia. He was actually a Holocaust survivor, and so was his wife. And someone had sold him some little certificates. He paid $3 a piece, and the idea was to give this away when you sold a piece of jewelry, and you'd go for 2 nights and 3 days to the Thunderbird Hotel in Las Vegas. And that was a long time ago. The Thunderbird hasn't been there in ages. So the certificates were good for about a year, and he'd only given away about half of them. So the time was running out. So he and his wife, and my wife and I at the time, went up for our $3 vacation. But what they didn't tell you is that you had to attend the sales presentation. Now, this wasn't a timeshare, but it was the same concept. This was land in the middle of the Mojave Desert, which is still land in the middle of the Mojave Desert. And I wish to heck I remember just what I said, but we saw about a 10-minute movie, and then they separated us. We were not with our friends, so we were with one other couple and a real estate salesman at a table. They had everyone separated and scattered like that. And after the movie, I asked our salesman some question, and I don't remember what it was exactly, but he made a signal, and the man who was the head of the presentation came over and thanked me for coming and threw me out. So it worked out pretty well for me. I was out of there. But my poor friend, who was foreign-born, and I guess he appeared to be more naive than he really was, 5 hours later, they came out of that meeting, and they were soaking wet. They were drained. They didn't buy, but they put them through 5 hours of the hardest sales pitch they've ever been through in their life. They earned their vacation.
That's amazing.
Stuart, the same thing to do with timeshares.
When we hear that things are looking up, and I usually hear that from a politician or a bureaucrat. Where do we stand, realistically, right now in our country, financially?
I think we're in deep trouble if we don't get our acts together. I mean, the debt is so enormous and rising every day. We're mortgaged. The country's mortgaged to China. Mm-hmm. And this reckless spending, Washington just does not get it, I think, and get a hold and a handle on this reckless spending. And the And I don't think taxing is the way to get us out of this problem. We need to create stimulus for business, and I'm not at all in favor of the direction that the administration is going.
Why do you think, and you mentioned the word entitlement, somewhere along the line, and I look back in my life, this has been creeping in little by little, year after year. The agenda that they had was very subtle and so on and so forth, but here we are. Our country right now is the majority of the people apparently are numb to what's really going on, and they're looking for the entitlements, and they don't seem to know that there's a hook on all this stuff. Am I off base, or where am I at?
No, I think you're right on target. Anything you're going to get, someone is going to have to pay for it. Mm-hmm. In the long run, it's going to be you. Mm-hmm. Somewhere down the road, it's going to fall back on you. And people they don't want to really work for what they get. They want everything kind of handed to them. And maybe that's the fault of our generation and the generation before. Maybe we wanted more for our kids than we had. Mm-hmm. And maybe we made it too easy for them. I'm wondering if that might be the real problem. You don't want your kids to suffer like you maybe did.
Where does it stop, if it stops at all? They talk about going over the cliff. I think that we went over the cliff. We just haven't hit the ground down below yet. Maybe I'm wrong, but where's it going to stop, if it stops at all?
I agree. This is the first time in my entire life that I've ever worried for the safety and the security of our country.
I was going to say the same thing. Yes, sir.
And, we're facing horrible enemies abroad that we've never faced the like of this that I can imagine, and that I've ever seen in my lifetime. And we seem to be supporting the wrong people.
They talk about sequester, and I listen to them as they stumble and mumble around and do whatever they do, but never really give you a straight answer. And then I often think, I've been off there thinking lately, that perhaps that would be the best thing for us right now. How do you feel about that?
Well, it would be a pretty drastic drop in the economy. I mean, the sequester would be overall cuts in every area of spending, and including the defense, which I think is already being cut way too much.
Yes.
And I think we're in very, very dangerous times. I know we need to trade and sell things, but for example, sending these high-tech fighter jets to Egypt, I think is probably the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. I mean, that's a country that is run now by the Muslim Brotherhood, who in reality wants to destroy us. And Israel's just a stepping stone to us. We're the big Satan.
Yes.
And it worries me very much.
I watched you on a video. I can't remember. It was something about shout out. But you mentioned something, and I can't remember how you said it verbatim, but you mentioned something like, we're not communist, and we're not a socialist country. But yet, we are leaning in that direction. I mean, we are tilted heavy to that side of their ideology, don't you think?
I think that's definitely true. I mean, we are actually more socialistic today certainly more than China. And Russia has a very strong capitalistic economy today. I mean, they're making things and they're selling things. And we're just borrowing and buying from them. And I don't understand it. It's not going to be long before China overtakes our economy. And in fact, in an area that I used to be involved in, I mentioned casinos, the entire gaming revenue for Las Vegas,
Uh-huh.
you can multiply that times 6 or 8 times, and you'll get the gaming revenue from Macau, which is China.
Wow.
8 times bigger than Las Vegas.
What
The
happens?
good thing is a lot of the casinos are owned by American companies.
What happens, Stuart, when China wants their money? I mean, what happens if they throw their marker on the table and say, "Okay, it's time to pay up"?
Well, then I think you're going to see a worldwide depression.
Mm-hmm.
There's no possible way we could pay up, and they know that. I mean, that would crash their economy too. I'm not worried about China as a enemy in a war,
Mm-hmm.
because we're their biggest customer. You don't want to destroy your customers.
Right.
But we have countries like Korea, which I hope China is the one country that can put a hold on those crazy people.
Oh yeah.
North Korea, they're nuts. And something has to be done with Iran and this entire spread of the radical Islam throughout the Mideast. That's the biggest fear that I have today.
Why do people, Stuart? Socialism never worked anywhere it's been tried. But why do people, and particularly here in this country, why do people want to even go there?
Well, they want to be taken care of, and I think it's great to have the government and somebody just take care of them from cradle to grave. But it doesn't work.
Doesn't
Never work.
Doesn't it always end up with tyranny?
It ends up with the collapse of the government and the collapse of the economy, and it always has ended up the same way.
That is
The fear that I have today.
very, very scary.
I think we have I don't think this is too much of a chance of it happening, but there's even been talk about abolishing the 22nd Amendment to the Constitution, which limits term limits on the president.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I've heard that.
There's a move to even remove that, and I think Obama is probably one of the worst president I've ever seen. But he'd be great as a king or a czar.
Yeah.
Not as a president.
Yeah, if we could just find a place for him, other than here. You have a radio show, don't you, Stuart?
Yes, we're just kicking it off, and we're going to be starting in March on that.
Cool. Is it a terrestrial station or internet or?
It's a little combination of both, and we'll be kicking that off every Monday starting March 4th.
All right.
10 a.m. Eastern Time.
Could we spend just a few minutes on a subject that's really, I want to say it's near and dear to my heart, but yet it gets under my skin every time I think about it, and that is Benghazi. I can't ever remember a time, and I'm sure you can't either, that anything like that has ever taken place with our country that we didn't strike back and take care of business.
No, I've never in my life ever seen anything like that either. And the fact that we were so aware of it for, 8-10 hours, we watched this, and we sent no help. And, I was always under the impression that you just don't leave a man behind.
Right.
That was not the American way. And, in fact, that's just what we did do. And then they went on for 2 weeks blaming some stupid movie. I saw the movie. It was the most stupid thing I've ever seen. And the man who made that movie is still in jail.
Yeah. I watched the movie, too, and I just kind of, I laughed at it. I mean,
it was ridiculous.
It was. And yes, the man sitting in jail. I listened to one of the SEALs' fathers mention the fact that when they were there at the grave sites, Hillary Clinton said to this man that justice will be served on this man that made the video, knowing all the time that it wasn't the video's fault or the man that made the video. It was a real terrorist attack.
Absolutely, and it's just one lie after another. I remember when, what was it, in the early 70s, when they attacked the Israeli Olympic team?
Yes.
And I think it was Golda Meir at the time. Well, she sent out her hit squad, and it took a while, but she got every one of them.
Mm-hmm. And when President Reagan, excuse me, sent a couple fighter jets down Gaddafi Street, he gave the pilots the address of where Gaddafi was at, and they went and they messed things up pretty bad. I think they killed one of his children and a mistress, and
that was the America that we knew.
Yes.
But what the America we have today is.
With Benghazi, and I watched the hearings, the so-called hearings. I think it was a farce. But Stuart, if you and I went and robbed the bank, and then they came to us and said, "We want you to investigate the robbery," well, you and I are not going to say, well, we found evidence that Stuart and Espinlab did it. And that's almost like the government is. They investigate themselves. Sure, they're not. I mean, they're not going to come back and say it's his fault or her fault.
That's exactly true. And going back just briefly to the mortgage crisis that we went through, you have the bank robbers investigating themselves.
Exactly. Now, if we ran a scam like that, they'd put us in jail and throw away the key. But yet these characters, they just keep operating like there's never been anything done, or they just take their fingers and point the blame to someone else. I don't.
That's not a new thing. I mean, we can go back to Vietnam, and if you ask me, McNamara was a war criminal.
Mm-hmm.
Yet he got away with it. And I still won't watch a Jane Fonda movie.
No, I won't either. I listened to Hillary Clinton, and I found things amazing, and I guess the government, I feel the government insults what little bit of intelligence I do have. It took her a month of Sundays to get there to testify because of this, that, those, and these. But yet, she waited for the report to come back and went and testified about Benghazi. Well, you know daggone well that she's not going to say anything that's outside of that report. That report was her guardrails.
That's exactly right.
But yet no one is screaming, jumping up and down to demand the answers that the American people deserves. And I think, does this administration have such a hold on people that we don't really know what happened or don't understand?
Exactly. And it was the same with the Fast and Furious and these guns, these high-powered guns they sent down to Mexico to use against ourselves.
Yes.
Against our border guards. And Holder gets away with it. He gets a pass.
I know it. Go ahead, Stuart.
No, I just don't understand how you would get a pass for all of these outrageous things that they've done.
I know it's an old cliche, and we hear it, I don't know how many times a day, but if that was a Republican administration that did these things, I mean, fire would be falling from heaven. People's heads would be falling off. But yet it's almost like Benghazi, Fast and Furious, has been swept under the rug. Let's just move on and forget that it ever happened. And I get so dang blasted mad at these politicians that don't have enough gumption to stand up and demand that Benghazi is laid open bare, that all the American people can see exactly what went wrong, who was responsible, and why.
I agree with you completely, and it should have been laid out before the election. But I think maybe Mitt Romney was just too much of a gentleman. I mean, why he didn't bring it out, I don't know. But it was bad planning and bad strategy. That it came at the most opportune time, and they took no advantage of it whatsoever.
Do you think we'll ever get to the bottom of it?
No, I don't think we will. Or we may, but no one will ever care, and they'll forget about it. People have very short memories, unfortunately.
That's tragic. That is really tragic. So there's a whirlwind that's going through our country, both financially, militarily, politically, and somehow we've got to get a grip. Do you see?
I hope.
Go ahead.
I hope we can get a grip before we hit rock bottom. It's like the drug addict, and many times the alcoholic. Nothing will actually cure until they hit rock bottom and have lost everything.
Uh-huh.
And I hope the country can get a grip before we hit rock bottom. That's my hope.
What would it be like if all of a sudden we did hit rock bottom, Stuart?
Well, I think it would make 1929 look like a walk in the park.
Mm.
I mean, when properties crashed in '29, the average house was $4,000 or $5,000, and it lost half its value.
Uh-huh.
But look what happened in the last few years when property dropped 50% in value, and the stock market has the potential to collapse, and the bond market has a huge risk of collapsing. It wouldn't be good.
I hear tell. I've heard a couple of times that, and I kind of laughed. Maybe I was wrong to laugh, but I heard just the other day that the foreclosure rate has slowed way down. And the reason I laughed, and you tell me if I'm wrong, the reason I laughed is because so many homes have been foreclosed on that there's not as many homes that's being foreclosed on now as there was back then. And I laughed at him. Was I right or wrong?
You're pretty close. There's also still something like 8-10 million houses that are underwater, and they're in process of foreclosure or seriously close to foreclosure. And this robo-signing debacle, which seems to be getting wound down now, did put a hold to a lot of the foreclosures. So I am actually seeing an uptick. Here in Florida, I'm seeing a big uptick in foreclosures.
Wow.
And, Nevada is in disastrous. Las Vegas in particular, it's a disaster there today.
What can people do that find themselves underwater? And I mean...
Well, they have to make some hard choices. They have to make a business decision, and they have to look at it, I think, as a business decision above everything else. Number one, if you're at the choice of keeping an underwater house or feeding and clothing your family, that choice is made. You have no choice.
Mm-hmm.
You have to take care of your family. But then you have to make a business decision. Is this house ever going to be worth what it's worth? And there are strategic ways out. In fact, I'm not trying to do a commercial, but I have been helping people get out from underwater properties. And there are ways and things that can be done to get out of it. But you have to move on with your life.
When people, maybe not so much now, but when this whole house of cards went falling down, there were many people that just packed up and walked away from it and moved somewhere else. What happens to someone that does that? I mean,
well, you can certainly do that. I mean, there is no debtor's prison in this country, and after a couple of years, you can rebuild, you can get another mortgage, you can go back and start again. And this time maybe a little more intelligently, maybe not get the big mansion on the hill, get the starter home.
But
maybe learn from your past.
Is there legal things that can be done to people that walk away from their home and can't pay or don't pay?
Oh, there are. Many states have anti-deficiency statutes where they cannot come back against the person. Many states, they have to take into consideration the value of the property. Many states are not, many banks are really not even seeking any kind of a deficiency, so you can get out of it. And I try to help people. I have for the last 19 years getting out of these kind of situations. So, I'm more than happy to try to help someone. And there are legal things that you can do.
If somebody wanted you to help them, Stuart, is there a number or a website that they could go to that they could contact you?
Yes, George. They can go to realtycrisis.com, or they can call me at 877-94-HELP-ME.
94-HELP-ME.
Yes.
And what was the website again?
It's realtycrisis.com. And that has links to my different companies where we do help people with real estate and timeshares and various other real estate-related activities.
Great. RealtyCrisis.com. 877-94-HELP-ME.
Yes.
Wow. Do you see? Do you see the economy picking up at all this year?
Well, I see the stock market is doing rather well right now, but what are you going to do with your money? You don't make anything in the bank.
Right.
I think that this medical Obamacare is going to be a disaster for businesses. It's proving to be such.
Yes.
And that's not going to be good at all. I think that real estate prices have pretty much bottomed out, and I think they're going to increase ever so slightly, like the loaf of the bread, which is the way it should be. But until we have true employment, and the biggest crisis we face is getting this reckless spending from Washington under control. And until that happens, we're not going to really be a lot better.
They talk about $16 trillion, and soon we're going to have the fight over raising the debt ceiling again. We can never pay that back, can we, Stuart?
It would be pretty hard, but I think we can if we put people to work.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to tighten your belt. I mean, it's just like running your family. I mean, when things get a little tight, you eat home, you don't eat out. You fix the old car, maybe.
Right.
And that's what the government has to do.
But yet, they blow so much smoke. One side will try to scare the people on the other side, and vice versa. And then when it would actually come down for those characters to make the tough decisions, what we hear is, well, you can cut him or you can cut her, but don't cut me. And so with that kind of mindset, how are we going to do anything?
Well, I think the big problem is I don't think we have one economist in Congress.
Mm-hmm.
And we run this country like a bunch of school kids. And there are some fiscally responsible countries out there. We could take a look at New Zealand, at Chile, Canada, a lot better economy. I mean, there are examples out there, but this government is run like little kids.
What a shame. What a shame.
We need Alexander Hamilton.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Now there was a man that knew what was going on.
He figured out how to finance the whole Revolutionary War.
Yeah, if we could just somehow borrow him back wherever he's at right about now, we sure could use someone like that.
Definitely.
Stuart, I want to thank you so much. Excuse me. I want to thank you so much for coming on tonight. It's been a delight. I just love to talk to someone about these things that knows something about these things. Uh, it's been refreshing, Stuart.
Well, thank you, George. I truly enjoyed your show very, very much.
I didn't have
really enjoyed being on your show.
I didn't have to listen to a politician run around the bush in circles and never really get anything said. And I'll pass this on to our listeners. I'll continue to pass this on. The phone number 87794 help me, and
Yes.
reality.
No, reality crisis. Reality Crisis is a Japanese rock and roll band.
Oh,
and I
my.
don't think it's not Japanese.
Realty. I'll get it. Realtycrisis.com.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, we don't want
Thank you, George.
people calling the Japanese rock band. All right. Thank you,
No, I'm a
Stuart.
terrible singer. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, that was interesting. Very interesting. My goodness gracious. Hey, I'll be back right after this. I hope.
I want you to tell me it ain't true. I want you to show me the love that I once knew. All my friends that tell me, what do they know? Come on, tell me, any time to let you go. I want you to show me you love me more. I want you to hold me just like you did before. Think of all the good times, things that we've been through. Come on, tell me it's alright if you do. Think of all the good times, things that we've been through. You better tell me it's alright if you do. Come on and tell me. Tell me, come on, tell me. I want you to tell me.
I Want You to Tell Me by Mr. Cliff Stevens. And, by the way, mark this down. Put it on your calendar. Either write it, put it in your phone calendar, your computer calendar, put the alerts, the bells, the whistles, the bongs, the gongs, anything that'll make a noise. But alert yourself tomorrow night. That's tomorrow night. Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, right here on the Spreaker Network. Mr. Cliff Stevens will be with us, and he will be speaking to us from Morocco. So, put that on your calendar. Cliff Stevens, tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, right here on the George Espinlaub Show. on the Spreaker Network. Cliff will be with us live from Morocco. Yes, you heard me correctly, Morocco. And we are looking forward to it. I would exhort you to go to cliffstevens.com. That's Cliff, C-L-I-F-F, Stevens, S-T-E-V-E-N.com, cliffstevens.com. And there you can read some of the things that people are saying, top 10 blues guitarists, top 10 albums, best song. Real Blues Magazine said that. And you can help Cliff play with Eric Clapton. And you'll see a picture right smack dab in the center of the home page, and it says something like Eric Ball Play Crossroads. Help us play live with Eric Clapton. Click on that. That'll take you over to the contest they're having and support Cliff. I believe you're really going to like his music. We've been playing it off and on here for the last week or so, and we played it prior to that. We've been playing Cliff's music, I don't know, month and a half, 2 months now. But he'll be with us tomorrow night, so mark that down. Mr. Cliff Stevens, he'll be with us live from Morocco. There's a 5-hour time difference. They're ahead of us, so mark that down, please. Also, I want to thank Stuart Vener for being with us tonight. If you need help, if you're in a home and your home is upside down and you are struggling and straining, you can call him at 877-94-HELP-ME, 877-94-HELP-ME. Or you can go to realtycrisis.com, realtycrisis.com. And that's Mr. Stuart Vener, V-E-N-E-R. So do what you have to do when you have to do it the way you have to get it done. That was pretty simple, wasn't it? Wow. Who do we got? We got Cliff tomorrow night. Let's push the magic buttons here. Cliff tomorrow night. Give me something up here on the screen there, Charlie. Wednesday night we have Shelby Beckett. This is going to be most interesting. Very exciting. Shelby Beckett will be with us on Wednesday night. Thursday night, Steve Rizzo will be here. And Friday night, Mr. Bob Schroeder is coming back to be with us. You remember the man that was talking about the UFOs? What was it, last Wednesday night? When all of a sudden we had a massive power outage around here. And I don't know if it was the aliens that took aim at that big transformer that got knocked out, or one of them, got out of his flight pattern and bumped that transformer with his UFO. I don't know what happened, but it just seems awful strange that we were talking about UFOs and aliens and so on and so forth, and all of a sudden there was a boom, a bang, and there we were in the dark without power. But Mr. Bob Schroeder will be back with us on Friday night. Oh, boy. And we're going to go out of this world one more time. That's going to be a whole lot of fun. Yes, Charlie. Yes, Charlie. Yes, Charlie. I don't know why Charlie asked me these things. He's the character that's at the board. So he can play anything or do anything he wants to anytime he so chooses. But he'll stand over there on his little box. He needs this little box to stand up so he can reach the slides and the buttons and so on and so forth. He'll stand over there on the box and he'll jump up and down to get my attention, and then he'll give me the sign that he wants to play a song. Yeah, so, and he's the guy that puts all the songs up every night. He's the guy that takes care of the music, the sounds, the whole schmear. And why he's asking me, I have no clue. But he got it flashing on my screen now. He said, I want to play Working Like a Dog. Well, go ahead and play it then, Charlie. You got the board. He gets all excited over
I
this.
tried to be cool at obedience school, but my instincts are so strong that I failed. I didn't understand all of those commands, and I stuck my nose under every tail. When I'm home alone, tired of chewing on a bone, I see what I can dig out of the trash. If my stomach's had too much, I hack it right back up, sit around and scratch my flea bite rash. It comes on suddenly, the urge to take a pee on the carpet in the center of the den. A circle nice and bright, golden yellow on white. Every new rug must be broken in. Working like a dog, working like a dog. Check the litter box for a pecan log. Shedding lots of hair, drooling like a slob. I wag my tail off, I'm working like a dog. I finally get out of the house, I hear my master shout, but it's my only chance to cruise the neighborhood. I find a dead chipmunk, Chanel number skunk, and I roll in it till I smell really good. Come back from that run, sleeping in the sun, chasing after bitches in my dreams. But then I realize, much to my surprise, Lassie's not the hottie that she seems. Working like a dog, working like a dog, sitting around in my fragrant fog, eating up kibbles, living high on the hog. People call me bourgeois, but I'm working like a dog. Well, there's water in the bowl, but it's not very cold, and the water in the toilet has more taste. I have this little trick where I give myself a lick, and then I jump up and kiss my master's face. When company's invited, I get real excited. I pant and crank the action up a notch. I break a little wind and watch them jump out of their skin when I stick my big wet nose right in their crotch. Working like a dog, working like a dog. Come on a little closer, honey, I'll give your leg a hug. I'm just trying to score a little belly rub. Well, I'm a big love hog, I'm working like a dog. Yeah, I'm a big love hog, I'm working like a dog.
There, are you happy, Charlie? Sure, Charlie just did a double backflip off of his box. And, well, he didn't land on his feet. He landed on his butt. But that's all right. He'll be back up in his box here in a minute. I want to say hello to my good friend Lou, who is in the chat room. And I salute you, sir. I'm so glad that you dropped in. And don't forget, tomorrow night, Cliff Stevens, live from Morocco. That's right, way over there in Morocco. He'll be with us, and we'll be talking to him, chatting with him, playing some of his music, and just having a good old time. Tomorrow night, Cliff Stevens, live from Morocco. That's a long way off. Man, that is something. Wow. And then, Maria Danes just put another song up, and I want to play it tonight. It's called Beat Up Car. Yep, you heard it. Beat Up Car. Maria and her husband Paul are going to be on the show, and they're from over there in the UK. And as soon as we can get this thing right, we're going to have Maria and Paul on the show. This gal can flat out sing. I don't care what she sings, she can flat out sing.
40 miles of bad road and $1 of juice. Baby, looks like I won't get far. Took me 20 years to cut me loose now. Hell, just me and a beat up car, yeah.
Wow. Maria Danes from the UK. And yes, her and her husband Paul is going to be with us as soon as a few little details are worked out. They are going to be with us, and they'll be with us by the way of Skype from the UK tomorrow night. Please don't forget tomorrow night. Cliff Stevens will be with us all the way from Morocco. He's from Canada, but he is doing a winter gig in Morocco, and so he said he would just be tickled pink if he could come on the show, and we're going to have him live from Morocco. I think that's awesome. One of his favorite songs, I love this. This will cause you to tap your feet, snap your fingers, bob your head, and naturally, when you get all that moving, your booty has to move too. Mr. Cliff Stevens, Finger Express, he calls it. And he'll be with us tomorrow night live right here on the George Espinlaub Show. And he will be speaking to us from Morocco. Go to Cliff Stevens. That's Stevens, cliffstevens.com. And that's his website. The Real Blues magazine says top 10 blues guitarist, top 10 albums, best song. You can read what everybody else is saying about Cliff Stevens. And right smack dab in the middle of his homepage, you will see a picture of Eric Clapton. It's called the Eric Ball Play Crossroads. Help us play live with Eric Clapton. I believe that's going to take place in Madison Square Garden, if I remember correctly, although I don't always do that. But help him. Go to, just click on that picture. It'll take you over there to the Crossroads website, and there you can support Cliff and get him up there and help him play live with Mr. Eric Clapton. Man, that would be a real treat. But Mr. Cliff Stevens will be with us tomorrow night, right here, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and he'll be speaking to us all the way from Morocco.
We'll take you from where you are to where you wanna be. 'Cause radio works. Radio works. We'll take you from where you are to where you wanna be. 'Cause radio works. Radio works.
Driving, well, my kids are always fighting. They're fighting about a book they read. They're fighting about fighting. I wish they would stop fighting so the drive would be inviting to the driver. Riding without fighting. Driving, well, my kids are always fighting. They're fighting about a TV show. They're fighting about fighting. I wish they would stop fighting so the drive would be inviting to the driver. Riding without fighting. Driving, well, my kids are always fighting. They're fighting about a Barbie doll. They're fighting about fighting. I wish they would stop fighting so the drive would be inviting to the driver. Riding without fighting. Fighting. Well, our moms and dads are driving. They're driving us on errands. Hanging out with parents. I wish they would stop driving so that I could hang with Clarence. Instead, I'm stuck with parents. Parents stuck with errands.
But errands get your hair done, and errands help your parents to drop you off at soccer games and drop you off at Clarence. So shush your fighting, because I'm the one that's driving. And since I'm the one that's driving, there will be no fighting.
No fighting.
You're a mess, Charlie. Oh, Charlie, yeah, right. Here, start all over again, Espinlop. Wind it up. Okay, all right, start all over again. I want to say thanks to our friend at musicalley.com. Musicalley.com. That's where Charlie goes and brings the music up. Then we send it back. Then they notify the artist. Then the artist notifies us. And we just have a great, big, fun cycle going on. But Charlie is the one who goes and digs them out. No pun intended, Charlie. And he comes back with some great music, some great artists. And we have made some great contacts. Well, there's a lot of greats in there, but nonetheless, it's great. And we've made some great contacts with some great people. Oh, stop it. Thank you. Hey, my buddy Lou, he's eating a bacon cheeseburger and pizza. Oh, my. And some adult beverages. And, wow. And he's listening to the show. And I just think that is so neat, this modern technology. I know I've said it a million times now. This modern technology, it just blows me away. I think it's great. There's that word again. every now and then I get stuck on a word, you know what I mean? Like, here's one for you. You know what? Time. How many times do you think that the word time is used throughout the day? Just think about it. How many times have you used the word time just in the last hour? You know, we say, oh, what time is it? Or is it time yet? Or is it time to go? What time are they coming? What time are you going to bed? What time are you getting up? And it just goes on and on and on. What? They're laughing. They're laughing because most of the people here most of the people here can't tell time. Did I say that? I guess I did. But anyhow, tomorrow, you know, when you get up all refreshed and ready to go, just Lou said, "Do anyone really know what time it is?" See, we're always using the word time. When you get up tomorrow, you probably won't remember, but just if it comes to you, maybe when you say the word or someone else says the word, it'll cause you to remember about the word time, and then just be conscious of how many times time is mentioned tomorrow, and then you'll know how time is so important. Oh, what a goof I am. I'm telling you, man. Wow. Oh, anyhow. Sometimes I'm such a mess.
She got a mind like a mind, like a mind, like a rat trap. It's gonna get you, little brother, you so much as sneeze. But ain't a guy that can help that. Just take your licking when you go ahead and snatch up the cheese. You know I love you, baby. I know you love me too. But a satisfied man wouldn't choose what you put me through. You thought it flipped the script down to Silver City. Hit the county, well, baby, drove for strange. Couldn't make the scene, but baby, more's a pity. $300 couldn't get you in a pinochle game. You know I love you, baby. I know you love me too. But a satisfied man wouldn't choose what you put me. A satisfied man wouldn't choose what you put me. A satisfied man wouldn't choose what you put me through. You know I love you, baby. I know you love me too. But a satisfied man wouldn't choose what you put me. A satisfied man wouldn't choose what you put me. A satisfied man wouldn't choose what you put me through.
Well, I'm not a crook.
Toing. Oh man, I don't know why I'm well, I'm always goofy. I just don't know why I feel goofier than I normally feel goofy. Let's see. Lou Lou had a picture on his Facebook page today. It was really cool because it was like a sculpture, but it was made out of bacon in the form of a president. I mean, it was really, really cool. And whoever did that, they've got some talent when it comes to bacon. You almost hate to peel that off and throw it in the skillet, but you know, when you get hungry, you just gotta do what you gotta do. You know what I mean? Remember that, Charlie. Oh, don't you worry, Charlie. We wouldn't cook you. No, never in a million years. No, we wouldn't. Why am I laughing? I don't understand myself. I just don't. I don't know. Let's see. I took my meds this morning. I didn't take my nighttime meds. Cindy, the chief psychiatrist, she'll be around. She dispenses the meds just about time for bed. But most of us don't sleep around here. We just we catnap. Yeah. I mean, there's music being played all night long somewhere around here. You know, you'll see them in little groups. They'll be in there in what you call it, the thingamajig in there. Well, you know, the kitchen. They'll be in the great big kitchen, the cafeteria, whatever it's called, where we eat. They'll be in there where we eating, and they'll have music on, and then they'll be out here on the dance floor dancing, and you'll see them walking around on the grounds and stuff, you know, singing, and people will have their earplugs in. And, hey, we got one guy here. I got to tell you this before we go any further. We got one guy here. His name is Malcolm. Now, he hasn't been here too long. Is Malcolm in the audience? No? No? Okay. All right. Anybody know where he's at? Where, Charlie? Oh, he's down at the barn. No, I'm not going to tell you because I wrote an article one time about the cows that we have here on the funny farm. But anyhow, Malcolm is down there checking them out because if you've never seen a cow like we have a cow, you've never seen a real cow. I mean, we've got cows. We got cows that is built for the terrain around here. We have. I'm going to go ahead and tell it. I guess I have to go ahead and tell it. We have short left-legged cows here at the funny farm. They are built for the terrain. We have hills here. See. And you know, when a cow stands on a hill, there's a great possibility. You know, and he's got the same size of legs on both sides. All four of them the same size. Well, if he's standing on a steep hill, there's a great chance that he'll tip over, and she'll come rolling down the hill. Well, not here. Here on the funny farm, we have short left-legged cows, which means when they're standing on a hillside, on a steep hillside, they look like they're standing level. I mean, they're not leaning at all. They just don't lean because we've had them designed, you know, short left-legged cows. So until you see anyhow, Malcolm's down there looking at them. See, he just got here not too long ago. But one thing we've noticed about Malcolm, I don't want to say it too loud because we got the speakers on outside and he might hear me down there at the barn. But anyhow, one thing about Malcolm, he walks around with the earplugs in his ear. And then the dangly the dangly thing, you know, the dangly thing that comes down and you put it in the earplug hole of whatever you're listening to. Well, the dangly thing just dangles there. He don't he don't have a device to put the dangly thing in. No, he don't. But here's the amazing part. Malcolm, he walking around and he's snapping his fingers and he's bobbing his head and he's shaking his booty like he's really listening to something. But you know he's not, because he has no listening device, because his dangling thing had no place to get plugged in. So there's Malcolm. There's Malcolm. You get the picture, right? There's Malcolm with this 2 earplug, one in each ear, really getting into the sounds, with this dangly thing hanging down and no place to plug the dangly thing. I just don't understand it. But this is the funny for him. And if Malcolm is content, then so are we. But I just thought I'd pass that on to you, because I find it, and this is just me, I find it, everybody needs someplace to plug someplace to plug their dangly thing. You know what I'm just saying? That's all I'm saying. And Malcolm don't have one. oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Hey, listen, tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, we are going to have Cliff Stevens here with us. Singer, songwriter, musician. He is fantastic. And he'll be speaking to us all the way from over there in Morocco. So tune in tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, right here on the Spreaker Network. And then Wednesday, we're going to have Shelby Bennett here. And, you're going to get a charge out of that one. Thursday night, it's Steve Rizzo. And Friday night, Mr. Bob Schroeder will be back with his, and I'm not laughing at you, Bob, if you're listening. It just, I don't know. I just do this to myself sometimes. Mr. Bob Schroeder will be back with his UFOs. I mean, he's not bringing his UFOs. He don't have any UFOs. No. But he's coming back. He's coming back to talk about UFOs. Is that better? Yeah, and he'll be here. And hopefully the aliens won't blow the Transformers out up the road and around the corner, or crash into them with their spacecraft. There was no aliens hurt or killed in that episode the other night, and there were no UFOs crashed. So hopefully we'll get the whole show in Friday night without things blowing up and going dark on us. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, we're going to get out of here. It's time to go. Lou, he got me hungry because he's up there eating them bacon cheeseburgers and pizza, and he's having he's having a good old time. And Lou, listen, buddy, you stay safe, and I love you. I love you, man. And I know you won't give me your Bud Light. Okay, that's all right. But look, stay safe, and don't get into trouble. You know what I'm saying? Be careful. All right. Until tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying to put a caboose on this thing. Charlie's got the mop over there. He about ready to come clout me upside the head. Oh no, that's not a mop. He got a hook on the end. He got a hook on the end of that puppy. He getting the hook. You know, when somebody gets the hook, it's bad, because he's trying to tell me something, and I'm trying to talk and look at him and keep out of the way of that hook. And yeah, Charlie, hit the good night buttons up there. Put the hook. Thank you. Put the hook there. That's it. Now jump back up on your box. That's a good boy. Now hit the good night sliders and the buttons and the whistles and all the stuff that you do, so we can ride this puppy out of here. Okay? All right, Charlie? All right, buddy. Hey, wherever you're at, we want to we want to tell you good good night. Oh, cut it out. What's wrong? Jake is sitting here on my shoulder. That don't help me either because, man, he just. If you don't know who Jake is, you're going to have to go to the espenblog.com. There's an article there amongst all that menagerie about Jake and how long he's been with me. But he sits on my shoulder, and he just about drives me nuts. Like I'm not already there, right? You know what I'm saying? But that's why I'm here at the Funny Farm. But this is our world now. Yes, Charlie, if you'd hit the buttons, I'd shut up and I'd quit lip tripping, okay? All right, okay. All right. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you. Hey, from all of us here at the Funny Farm, there's a whole lot of love that's coming your way. Listen to me, wherever you're at. If it's nighttime, you have a great night. If it's already daytime where you are, have a great day. But regardless of where you are and what it is, this is George Espenlaub saying, have a great night or a great day, and God bless you real good. Good night, Lou, my buddy. Stay safe, man.